Okay, but let's first of all work on the remove icon, the remove from cart icon. All right, so I'm going to go back here. So I'm going to just we're going to, but to do that, first I'm going to declare a variable, and I'm going to call this variable index, and this index should be equal to state.basket dot find index. Okay, you can read up on this. Find index. Okay, you can read up on it. Is JavaScript function, right? So find index where item .id is equal to action.payload. It means the payload of this remove from cart, the payload should be id. All right, so where the item.id matches the item.payload. So let's get a variable called new basket, right? And then this new basket should be post of state.basket. So we say if index is greater than or equal to 0, that means if it returns something, we are going to say new basket dot check out the splice function. That's what we are using. So we're going to pass the index and 1. All right, so if it returns something, okay, then the index is the parameter. Right, the splice method changes the contents of an array by removing or replacing existing elements and or adding new elements in place, right? So you can check it out, look it up in the JavaScript documentation. Else console.log item not available in the basket. Okay, let's try. Okay, so we are going to return something. We are going to return whatever the state already has, and then basket, new basket, right? Let's check it out. So we come over here and then we push right. We have to declare the dispatch function. So I'm going to call this remove from cart. I'm going to make this remove from cart. I'm gonna need this here. It should be id, also should be id, and payload should be id. All right, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take this, okay, and I'm going to add it right here. All right, so let's check it out. I'm going to bring in remove from cart right here. Then I'm going to say on click Oh, not just that, not just this. I need to make things a little bit easier. We'll create function undo remove. I'm going to call the function remove from cart, and then I'm going to pass a parameter, and the parameter should be id. All right, so let's check this out. And I'm going to say on click remove from cart. Refresh. Okay, it's not working. Let's find out why. Oh, okay. This is the reason why it's not working. We made a mistake right here. Instead of having undo remove here, we have remove from cart here. No. All right, this is what it should be. Yeah. Sorry for that. Okay, so let's try this. Say that it works. So add to cart is working, remove from cart and increment of products are all working. So well, meanwhile, I know you must have noticed that if I click this twice, right, instead of having it multiple times, I will have the product at the number of times I click the button. All right, so you can see that I have two times here. Sorry, I have 3 times here. Okay, so if I add the product again, I will have 4. So you just are same thing as increasing it or decreasing it. All right, so we want to calculate the total of our products right here. So let me quickly do that, and to do that I'm going to create a component called subtotal. Right, so now that I have subtotal, okay, so now I'm going to do some CSS work, and I'll be right back. Right, I am back. So we can see the subtotal component is ready. So right now that it is ready, I'm going to render it in our checkout. Okay, so I'm going to create a div here. I'm going to render subtotal. Right, and now I'm going to import it. Okay, let's. All right, so it's out, but there is nothing showing on it yet. Before we do that, as you can see here, it's showing 3. Right, I want the number here to reflect, you know, I have 3 items, 3 of this, 2 of this, and 3 of this. So I want what I have in the cart to reflect the number of items I actually have, not the number of unique items. So of course, if you want it to be the number of unique items showing here, I think you should be able to leave it like that. But I want to be able to calculate this. Now I can actually go ahead. All right, I can actually go ahead and calculate the number of items I have in my cart. Right, I can do it. Probably here. Okay, I can calculate the number of items in the basket. Okay, I can find a way to do it right here, but because I want to use the same total items, I want to make use of it here. Sorry, here. Okay, it is a different component. I wouldn't want to do that, so I want to still go ahead and do it in my context. All right, so I will calculate it right here. Okay, and to do that, what I will have to do is, okay, so I'm going to say const total item sum Okay, I'm going to call it item sum. I'll say it's equal to state dot basket dot reduce. This is a reduce function, JavaScript reduce function. There's a way to make use of JavaScript reduce function. It will be a little bit of confusing at first, but I don't know. My guess is you are used to it, but if you are not, you can check it out in JavaScript docs. Okay, you can see the syntax, right? The previous value, current value. So you are going to first it accepts two parameters, one to represent the previous value and one to represent the current value, right? Because we want it to receive, first of all, whatever the item sum is at the moment, then we now add to it. So now, so this is the current value, or we can call it the previous value. Okay, so then we now add the new value, so we can call it item. Okay, so and then I like having my arrow function. Okay, and I like having my arrow function like this. So I will say return item sum plus item dot quantity. This guy was or is currently, it accepts it. Okay, then it adds the new quantity to it. Okay, but then that is not all. We need to have an initial value, okay, which of course, if you are going to have an initial value, it should be 0. Okay, so this is the current sum, whatever the sum is at the moment, and then it adds a new one to it. Okay, let's check this out. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to add it to our context provider. Okay, let's check it out. I'm going to do something here. So I'm going to bring it in here, right? So I'm going to bring in this too. Right, I'm going to bring in this. Okay, but however, I won't be using all of this. I'm just going to make use of okay, so but the next thing I'm going to do, right, I'm going to install a dependency called currency format. All right, so I'm going to install currency format. I'm going to copy this. Okay, okay, so add it and hit enter. Error. Okay, so I'm going to force it. So I'm going to force it. All right. So I'm just going to dash force. Okay, let's try it. Okay, so that has been done. So now that it has been done, I'm going to go ahead and import it. So I'm going to say import currency format from React currency format. All right, like I said, this guy doesn't do much. It just helps display currency properly, put commas where necessary, and all of that. So that's it. So I'm going to call it right here. I'm going to render it here, and then I'm going to render the attributes. Okay, it has some attributes that we should check out. So one of them is 1000 separator, right? You can see that. So automatically it separates our 1000 for us. So 1000 separator, I'm saying true, and then display type, I'm going to say text. So value, wrap it. Value 0, then decimal scale. I'll have it at 2. All right, so the next one should be render text. So I'm going to add value, and then there's a callback function. Okay, I'm going to put a wrapper tag, and then so I'm going to, let's say, class name, text small, font bold. So I'm going to display the total items in your basket. I'm going to say item sum. Let's check. All right, let's count it. We have 3 here, 2 here, 3 here. So that's complete. So there are 8 items right here. I'm going to 2. So I'm going to add another one. Okay, for all right, so this particular one, I'm going to give it the same color. Say subtotal. So this cannot be item sum. So I'm going to calculate the total, calculate the entire product in the cart. So, and I can as well do that in my context, but I don't need the total anywhere else outside here in this application. So I might as well continue, just run it here. Okay, I might just have to run it here. So I'm taking off this. So I'm going to create, so I'm going to say const, I need to bring in basket. Okay, so I'm going to bring in basket from here. Okay, so const total sum is equal to basket dot reduce. Okay, our previous value total sum, the new value is item, right? So I'm going to all right, so I'm going to say return total sum plus item dot pricing times item dot quantity. All right, so for every item, right, every item in this basket is going to do this: the price times the quantity, the price times the quantity, the price times the quantity, and then when it is done calculating all of this, it's going to add it to whatever that the total already is, right, at the moment. So which initially is going to be 0. So initially is going to be 0. So this is what is going to happen. So and then I'm now going to have right here I'm going to have right here total sum. Let's check this out. Good. Okay, so I'm going to add some CSS to this, so it will give it a little look. So all right, that works. Okay, so all right, that's okay. All right, so so now we have checkout, we have clear cart. We haven't written any code for this guy, but this is where we now go to the checkout page, right? We're not doing that right here. So but we need to have something. So let's check this out. So you see, once we increase this, the numbers are increasing, everything is working out perfectly well. So let's work on the clear cart guy. I just need to go to my action and make some changes. I'm going to add a new, I'm going to call it empty cart equal to empty cart. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do right here is, now that I have this, I need to go to my reducer. You know how it is, so we just need to create a case. Of course, we have to bring it in, and then we create a case. So empty cart, and we have to return a value. So we'll say whatever the state is plus the basket, empty basket. All right, so we come over here and we send it to, let's do this. Right, we call it empty cart. Right, there should not be any payload actually, because all it does is to empty cart. So the type should be empty cart. So, and then I'm going to take it to my context, save up this. Okay, so this is okay. Let's check it. So in my subtotal, I have to bring it in from the context, empty cart, right? So when we say clear, that should be right here. So clear cart, so I need to say on click. Okay, so it should be a callback function since we are not passing it through any function. So it should be a callback function right here, empty cart, like this. So let's try it. All right, that works. Okay, for now everything is working except obviously the checkout button. Okay, so I'm going to do something right here. Let's notice something. Okay, for here, right, we haven't done anything there. So let us go back to the header. Okay, so on the we already have this right here, and we already have basket right here. So instead of having basket, we simply have to bring in the total, is it item sum, right? Item sum, we had item sum. All right, so instead of having basket.length here, we simply have item sum. All right, so let's check it. You see that? So it now reflects the number of items that I have here instead of the number of unique items. All right. Okay, so I think we are making some progress. Okay, now I'm going to look at this. Okay, look at this. Okay, why researching this topic? Okay, I discovered that a lot of developers, mostly people that are teaching this topic on the internet, all right, they leave this topic just here. Okay, they don't extend it right to a particular point, and I think that is wrong, because if you refresh this, you will notice that everything is gone. We are back to zero, right? Okay, so that's not how it should be. And by the way, this button here is still saying clear cart, even though there's nothing in our cart. All right, so, and this is why I'm saying checkout, even though there's nothing here to check out. So I think we can just quickly adjust that. So oh, subtotal, yeah, that should be the subtotal. So this here are the buttons, clear cart and checkout. So I'm going to simply say if total sum, right? Yeah. Why exactly did I call this variable total sum? That's quite funny because total and sum are actually the same thing. All right. Okay, I'll just leave it there. Okay, so what we'll say, so if the total sum, very funny variable name, is greater than 0, right, then we get to say this. Let's check it out. If total sum is greater than 0, then we get to see this div. All right, it has disappeared. Let's bring in some items. We have 2 now. and it is back. Okay, that works. Clear it, and it is gone. All right. So let us go ahead and handle this part, right? When we because once we refresh the page, everything is gone. All right, now I'm going to take you to, you already know about local storage in JavaScript. All right, that is what we are going to make use of. All right, now there is something called the local storage on the browser, right? Every time you log in to some website and your computer have to remember your login, all right, it stores there. That login information stores there. So every time you enter that website again, the computer will first of all check your local storage if your login information on that website is still on, and if it is there, you see that you are still automatically logged in. Same with your phone. All right, so you see that you are still automatically logged in. That is, we are making use of the local storage right there, and it is not difficult to make use of, right? Is just you just need to understand two things. Now, to store something in local storage, we say to store stuff in local storage, we say set item. To get something from it, that is this. To get something from it, we say get item. Now, let's for an example. This code here is going to create a space in the local storage, and it will name this space my cat. And what it is going to store in my cat is Tom. That means the name of the storage space is my cat, right? So you can call it variable or something. So this my cat will hold the value Tom, and if we want to get this value back, right, we simply say const cat equal to local storage dot get item, or we just say local storage dot get item. So we have transferred the content of my cat to this variable. All right, so that means this cat here is going to be equal to what? Tom. Exactly. So to get item, we say get item. To set item, we say set item. Now you are going to notice that I use the web a lot, right, in my tutorials, right? I wouldn't want to deceive you into thinking that I have everything stored up in my head, right? I use the internet. Okay, when you seem to forget something, you use the internet, right? We are going to do this for a very long time, so there's a lot of frameworks, there's a lot of languages to learn. All right, so make use of web. Always ask questions on the web, right? There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now, before web became the go-to place, right, we had textbooks. Okay, we had textbooks, right? We had all of the large textbooks that we were always making reference to, okay, while writing programs. So but these very days we use the web. All right, so I'm going to do that right away. So to do it, we go back to this place right here. So now we need to bring in use effects, right? And then we are going to make a statement somewhere here, and we'll say use effect. All right, we all know it is a callback function. So now listen to this. Okay, when this application runs, okay, so I'm going to say local storage dot set item. Okay, so and I'm going to say my store, let me call it my store, comma JSON dot stringify state. Now let me explain. Every time this application loads, right, we are going to store what we have in, this is the state, right? The state is the basket. This is the state here. Okay, so whatever that is in the basket, okay, gets stored in the state eventually. All right, okay, so the initial value is empty, and whenever we update the basket, okay, that becomes the value of the state. So what we are doing here is that we're saying that set my store is a variable that we are going to create. Okay, we are going to create it. So this variable is going to hold a value, or we can just decide not to call it my store. We can just decide to give it a name straight. So we can just decide not to call it my store yet, or but if you like, we can just create a variable. My store is equal to local cart, right? Okay, so, or I can just put local cart here if I want to. Okay, so and then it converts whatever it is in the basket in the state. All right, it converts it to a JSON, right? It converts it to JSON and it stores it. But we don't want this to happen forever. Now, every time we update the state, right? Every time we update the basket, okay, the app is rendered, and that is the reason why we want this to run. If we do this, it means it will run once, right? But if we put state here, that means every time the state changes, it will update this. Every time the state changes, the use effect will run, and once the use effect runs, it updates what is in the local cart, right? That is what is going on. So I'm going to store this right here, and let us check out something now. So I'm going to refresh this. I'm going to go straight here. Okay, so let's do this now. I'm going to add 1, 2. Okay, so let us go to inspect and see what we are doing. So I'm going to go to application, and while I'm in application, I'm going to let me clear this. All right, so that we know what we're doing. I'm going to do this again. So I'm going to add 2 items: autumn collection, A Jordan gym, whatever that is. So I'm going to say application. Look at it. There is, you can see the local storage right now. So you can see the local host. All right, 3000. That is this host here. You see there is a variable called local cart, and it has 2 items, right? And it has everything that we're talking about stored: pricing, ID, the name and everything. Okay, it stores the ID, stores the name, stores the pricing. All right. Okay, so that is what is going on. All right. So it means that it stores these things, right? And if it stores this thing, that means we can read it. Okay, we can get it out. So to get it out, we simply have to now use get item, right? So to do that, we say we have to add something here. I can call it initial. Okay, I'm going to say JSON dot pass and I will say local storage, right, dot get item, and then which item are we getting? The item in my store. That's all. Oh, initial. Okay, let's discuss this, right? Okay, this is not right. I declared the my store variable here, and this cannot work because the computer will tell me I'm trying to read a variable before I declared it. So I'm going to put it up here so that everything will see it. So what is going on here is that I'm saying initial, right? That means I'm referring to the content of this initial state. Okay, so that is what I'm doing here right now. So I'm saying once this application loads, right, get item, so whatever it's in this storage, my store, use it to update the initial state, right? But if there's nothing there, that means this one runs. So we are back to normal. So we just, if there's nothing there, we just have the initial value. Okay, now why do I put this? This simply means, you know, that when we set the item, when we stored the items, we turned it to JSON, right? We turned it to JSON, right? We turned it to a string. Okay, so this JSON dot stringify is to convert it to a string, right? Okay, so it means that we converted this to a string. So when we are reading it right now, it is a string, right? Our program cannot make use of it. Okay, so but with JSON.parse, right, or parse, I don't know which one you call it. With this JSON.parse, these are normal JavaScript, right? These are not even React codes. We are converting it back to a JavaScript object that our program can make use of. Okay, so you can read up on this. Okay, you can read up on this. Okay, and that's it. So I've saved this. So let's check this out. All right. So I've saved it here. So let's refresh. You see, our guy is still there, right? Still there. So we can refresh it from now until tomorrow. Everything is there. So you see, when you add products to your cart, right, they don't get stored in the database yet, right? They don't, maybe when you add your things to cart in your Amazon, they don't get stored in database, right? They get stored in your computer. Otherwise, because a lot of people put things in cart and they never actually get to check out. They never actually get to buy what they have in their cart. And so, some people will leave those items in their cart for many years. So if we always store things every time it's added to cart, we store it in database. If we keep doing that, we're going to have our database filled with a lot of redundant data that we are not using for years. All right, so and that is not the best way to go about this. All right, so that is the reason why we have this way. Okay, so I just noticed that the name of these items are not showing, and that is because in product we didn't even add the title, right? We didn't add the title. We didn't even add the title of the item we are adding, right? So I'm going to go ahead and handle other loose ends in this application, and then we can call it a day. Okay, so now if we add an item, we should be able, I need to clear this one. So let me add item. I think we should be able to get the name now. All right, yeah, that works. Okay, so I'm going to quickly do something else, and then we'll be preparing to round up. What I need to do right now is I need to work on this search bar, even though that is not within the, that is not, I just think I should mention this, right? This search bar right here, okay, we have to put it to use, right? Well, we have to ensure it works. So, and it's a simple one, and I think it is an opportunity to also talk about it. Okay, although I'm going to make it also a separate video. Okay, so how to make your search bar work, okay, is very simple. So we are in header and we already have React routers installed, so we are going to go ahead and get something called use navigate. All right, so now I'm going to create a component called search results. Search results.js, okay, and then to have this, so I'm coming back to it. All right, so for now, so for the first thing we need to do is that we need to create a state, right, for our text box, our input box, all right, the search box. So I'm going to call this search box, and call the function set search box, and I'm going to call this use state. So of course initially should be empty. Okay, so we need to all right, so I'm going to say on change, right? On change, I'm going to say set search box. e.target.value dot value, right? Okay, and I'm going to value equal to search box, right? So next thing, I'm going to create a function. I'm going to create a function. I'm going to call it function handle search. Okay, so this function, so once this function runs, right, this is what is going to happen. Now if you were there, if you know we have our React Router DOM tutorial, you can check it out, right? It is equipped, right? We talked about a whole lot of parts of React Router that are not use navigate, please, it's use navigate. So we talked about a whole lot of React Router DOM that some other people don't usually talk about. Okay, so that is, so here I'm going to, now that I have use navigate here, first I'm going to say const navigate. So I'm going to use this variable navigate to assess whatever that guy has to give me. All right, that is use navigate. So this variable here, I'm going to use it to assess whatever this guy has to give me. So I'm going to say navigate, right? Once this runs, once this function runs, we leave here and we go to search results. So the component called search results, we are going to go there. Okay, so we are going to navigate out of here, okay, to the component that will display the search result. Okay, so let us check this out. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it right here. So I'm going to say on click handle search. All right. Okay, let's check this out. But first, I want this to happen only if there is search content, right? Only if the search box contains something. So I'm going to say dot length is not equal to 0. So if search dot trim dot length, you can check out the trim function, please. All right, JavaScript trim function. Then we are going to run this. Okay, so let's check it out. So I'm searching for Nike. Okay, so we don't have the component yet, so we have not rendered it. So let's render it. All right, so we have everything here. All right, I'm going to copy this. Right, and then here I'm going to bring in the component search results. So I'm going to import search results. Import search results should be capital. All right, so okay, so let's check it out. All right, these are search results. Okay, so it means that it works. Okay, it works. So let's check. Let's try to search without entering a value. So you see it's not going to work, right, until I enter something. All right, so next thing I'm going to do right now is we are going to write some codes here. Okay, but let me check. But that's not all, right? We don't just want to go to search results. We want to carry a state with us. So we're going to say state whatever the user enters in the search box, right? Whatever the user enters in the search box. Okay, so that becomes the state. So we're going to carry state with us, not just go to the other page. We're going to carry a state with us. So in the search results now, I'm going to import something. I'm going to use location, right? Then I'm going to const location. I'm going to create a variable called location, and that is what I'm going to use to assess whatever this guy has to offer me. Say const search item equals to location dot state, right? Equals to location dot state. So the next thing we need to bring in right now is we need to import our database, right? Our API. That's this stuff right here. All right. So we are going to say search value. Okay, it's equal to product items dot map. All right. So we want item.title, right? Where item.title is equal to search item. So we want this guy to search for us in this place, right? We want to map in here. Sorry, not map. We need to filter. Yeah. So it should be filter, right? Okay. So we want to filter, right? This API right here, and find where the item.title. Find an item whose title is the same as search item. Now, this won't work, right? Because for this to work, it means that the user must enter a value that corresponds exactly with what we have in title. Okay, so that is the reason why this will not work, because the user may not really know the items where we write it, but the user could just want to sign a search anything else, so it means that the user will have to add search exactly what we have as a title of any of the items, or it will not work. So this is cancelled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this to lowercase, right? I'm going to convert it to whatever the title is. I want to convert it to small letter only, all through. I'm going to say dot include, right, is a function. So whatever the title is, as long as it includes this. All right, so I'm going to say dot, so lowercase. Okay, so that we don't have a capital letter, small letter issues. All right, we don't have to have case issues. Okay, so look at it right now. So we are saying whatever the title is, just check if it includes. So this is a function, you can check it out, JavaScript function. Just check if it includes what the user, what we have here, because right now this search item is simply, let's check it out. This search item is simply containing what the user searched. Let's check it out, right? Oh, okay, sorry, this is not defined yet. Okay, right, let's check it. So you see, we have Nike that we just searched from in the text box. Okay, so that means as long as the item includes Nike, we are going to display it. All right, so let me add some CSS classes, and then I'll be right back here so we can display our items. Okay, so I'm back. So I'm going to render my stuff right here. So now I'm going to say search value this right here dot map, right? I'm going to say item, so I'm going to render products, right? So I'm going to render product. Okay, yeah, let us render product. So I'm going to simply copy these things here, right? Item.id, item.id, then dot pricing item, dot title. I don't think I need all these ones. All right, so I'm going to leave it like this. So let's check. You see that? So all of the Nikes are displayed. Simple, right? Isn't that awesome? Kind of. So let's go back. So if I search Nike, let me search Air. All right, you see that all of the ones that have Air in their names, Air included, are displayed. All right, so this is basically what we are talking about. Okay. All right, so let me just make this. All right, so that is not all. Okay, now the user should be able to click this and go somewhere. Okay, so we haven't created that yet, but you can see that the search result is working. Let's finish with the search, then we can just create that quickly. Now, the next thing I'm going to do right now is on the header here. Let's check this. You notice that except the user clicks here, the search doesn't work, right? Assuming the user should be able to just tap enter, right, and the search works. But that's not the issue right now. So the reason for that is that we didn't include that in our code. So in our code, we need to do something. Let's go to header. Let's go back to header. Right, we need to do something right here, and that is we say on key down. Now, if you bump into old tutorials, right, on these subjects or old programs, you're going to see them use on key press, right? You see them use on key press, all right, like this. So, but W3 schools are saying that this is outdated, for reasons best known to them. So you'll have to use on key down now, or on key up. That means when somebody press the key, when the person is taking their hands off the key, that is on key up, and on key down is this. So I'm going to say E, right? So I'm going to use this as, I'm going to say here, if e.key is equal to enter, right? We are going to tell it to run this same function. It's going to run the same function. All right, let's check it out. So I will say I need Nike, and I hit enter. Now it works. Okay, it's as simple as that. Okay, so that is out of the way. Now let us do something else. Okay, so we just have to create an item that when we click on this, we should be able to, see a bigger part of, we should be able to see this item in. We should be able to go to, whenever we click on any item, we should be able to go to a dedicated page, for that item. So I think I'm going to do that, and I'm going to handle the thing with the sizes, and that should be all that we have to do today. Okay, so I'm quickly going to do that very fast. This tutorial is getting longer than I thought it would be, so I'll be quite fast on that. So I'm going to call it product showcase .js, and I'm going to quickly add some CSS. I'm going to quickly add some CSS to it. Okay, so I've written some of the code, so let's add the route for it. All right, so it means that let's go to the product page, right here. So this image here, right, this image here is supposed to be a link, right? Let me put it. Okay, the image and the title, because we have the image here and we have the title here. Okay, so and I want to check. So I'm going to create a link here. This link to, right? Showcase. Okay, so okay, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to copy this and paste it here. So I'm going to call this is product showcase. Call this one product showcase, right? Okay, has imported it for me. Okay, so that means that when I need to import link, from React router DOM. Okay, so let's check it out. I know. Yeah, brings us to the product showcase page that I just created, but as you can see, it's empty, right? There's nothing there. Okay, yet. Okay, so the next thing I need to do, so every product I click now brings me here, but we want it that every product we click on, okay, we get their own dedicated page, right? Every product will have to get their own dedicated page. So to do that, I'm going to come over here, come to the product showcase page. First, in the product page, right, where I have this, it shouldn't be just this link, right? It should be this link and the ID of this product. Okay, like this. Instead of having this here, I'm going to have this, and then I'm going to use this. Okay, so then I will say not just product case, right? You're going to add something at the end. You're going to add the ID. The ID, good. You're going to add the ID. Okay, so I'm going to save this and I'm going to go to this particular place. So I'm going to tell this guy there's something to expect an ID. All right, so now that I have done this right here, so I'm now going to do something else. I'm going to go to the showcase page. I'm going to import something. I'm going to import use params, right, from React router DOM, and then I'm going to say const ID, not like this, sorry, is equal to use params, right? So I'm going to use this ID to access it. So again, we need to import our API. Now, if you're using external API from the web, you don't need to be importing it like this. So okay, so instead of so what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to say product. I'm going to create a variable. I don't know what to call it. I'll call it item, right? I'll call it item, and then I'm going to say is equal to product items, right, dot find, because it's simply one product we want. So what is it finding? It's going to find search through the items and look for where an item that has the item ID that matches equal to ID, this ID here. All right, so let's check it out. So and now what I'm going to do is over here now I'm going to say this should be item dot image There should be item.title. This should be item.description, and this should be item.pricing. You can see all of the properties that the item has, right? So I'm going to bring in the size. Okay, so all right, so I just added the sizes, so nothing much there. It just I had to select, add the CSS, and then the options are simply the options from just had to use the options in the size, right? Size.l. So I have to assign values, according to the sizes that we have in our database. Okay, so that is just what happened. So just trying to round up. Okay, let's check this out. Okay, it is broken. Let's check why. Okay, sorry, let's go back. I refresh. Okay, so now we have product showcase 2. all right, instead of just product showcase, or instead of just product showcase like we had before. And this one here is product showcase 3. That's because the ID, we now have the ID, but it's not showing. Let's find out why. Let's inspect it and find out why it's not showing anything. Cannot read properties of undefined. Okay, let me try this. Let me say pass int pass int save it. Okay, so this works. So the reason it didn't work earlier is because if you check, you will see that our ID is number, right? Our ID is number, the data type is number. Okay, but the ID we took from this from the other page, right? The React wasn't seeing it as a number, so I had to use this to convert it into a number. Okay, so that is why it's working now. So you can see it's showing, right? So every product, it's more like every product now gets their own special page. Okay, I'm sure you see things like this a lot. So, and we have the add to cart button, right? So it means that we also need to make use of the resources here. Now that is the beautiful thing about Context API, right? At every instance in this application, we can always make use of the resources of add to cart, remove, and everything that we had in the context. All right, so I'm just going to copy those stuff. All right, you already know I have to copy them, right? Okay, so next thing I do is to okay, so I have to say const new item, which is an object. I'm going to say here item.id. Sorry, so I'm going to say id item.id. I think this should be all. I don't know if I'm forgetting anything. Okay, image, title, size, pricing. Right, so this is basically it. Okay, I'm going to rush this other one. Going to bring in use state. Okay, and let's work on the size immediately. I'm going to call it shoe size set shoe size. So I'm going to say on change auto. Just trying to handle the select bus, for this shoe size. So I'm going to say set shoe size. Okay, actually I'm trying to round up, right? So I've done all of the important things, so these are the minor ones that you can just handle them on your own. Shoe size, yes. I have to import product. All right, so if I go here, okay, so I'm going to see for products, for products, you can decide to, let's go product showcase. Let's go there again. So I'm just displaying, the first 4 products. Of course, you can decide to make it random for products. All right, time won't permit me to do that right now. Okay, so that is basically what it is. All right, so that's it. So every item now gets their own page, right? Every item gets their own page. Okay, but something is wrong here. So I'm down here right now. When I click on this item, it is showing, but I can't see it. So we have to automatically scroll up. So we have to bring in use state right here. Sorry, use effect. So we have to declare our use effect somewhere here. Say use effect. Right, so window dot scroll we give it 0 0. That means it's going to the top of the page. Let's check. Yeah, works. Okay, yeah, good one. All right, so I don't know if we have done everything we should do. Okay, so I'm going to do this another tutorial. I'm going to create the login, registration and login in a different tutorial, so we can see how you can do that in your application. All right, using Firebase, right? Because I intended to use Firebase for this, so I'm going to create a new tutorial for this particular one here. I think for now, it's the size here, so I will quickly add that. All right, guys, I just added the size stuff. So when we add an item to the cart, now we can see the sizes, and we can change the size, and so how this was able to be possible, of course, in the product, while we were doing the previous ones, we were not adding the size in the item. When we add the new item, and then we pass the new item as parameter to add to cart, the size was not there. So but now that the size is there, okay, we can now add the sizes of so we can now add the sizes of the product the way we have it in the API. All right, so I really have to round up this very fast. I didn't expect this would take this long time. All right, but then you can go ahead and download this project, okay, and you can expand it. Like you can see, this button here is doing nothing at the moment, but this here, when you click here, you should be able to see a component where you will see all the products without the slice function. So all the products are going to show. All right, like here I have only 8, so I just want to click here. When the user clicks more, they should be able to see all the products that you have. Okay, so you can add that component, and of course that same component you can also add some unique components here, and add some good functionalities that will make this cool for you. All right, so if you want to have access to my code and then build on it, of course the link is in the description. So the link is available in the description box. So that is where I come to an end with this one. All right, I have to round it up and as fast as possible so I can move to another thing. So you can see we have been able to apply a whole lot of things that we talked about in React, right, in our previous tutorials. So feel free and ask your questions in the comment section, right? If you like what I'm doing here, like, share, subscribe. All right, tell people about this channel. Let us build this community. Okay, thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope I made some impact in your life today. Thank you, and bye bye.